friends, this is Neetu Jain. This session is on stress management. I would like to begin with a quote of Robert Frost. What is this life if full of care we have no time to stand and stare? Rajdhani Express, that's what our life has become. Today fast is the keyword in this VUCA world, and this fastness has resulted in tremendous stress and tension in our lives, so much so that we are unable to come out of this cobweb. Stress has become a major concern of our life. It's like a slow poison. Its effect is cumulative on our body and mind. It corrodes our mind and erodes our body. Today we are going to talk about as to what is stress, what are the alarming statistics about stress, what are the consequences of stress, what are the different elements which make up stress in a person, and what are the different coping strategies to cope up with stress. What is stress? Stress is nothing but any kind of pressure that affects a person in his life is stress. And there is an external stimulus called stressor. Our physical and emotional reaction to that stimulus is called as stress. Now let us see the alarming statistics about stress. Times magazine declared stress as epidemic of 80s. In Europe, burnout is a national disaster. According to Health Enhancement Research Organization, they carried out research on around 46,000 people, and according to them, healthcare costs are more for people who are more stressed, while it is 147% less for people who are less stressed. Our 50 to 80% of visits to physician clinic are because of stress related ailments. Stress is costly since it leads to more deaths, it leads to high turnover, more accidents and increase in medical bills of people. Globally, more than 264 million people suffer from depression, and women are more prone to depression as compared to men, and it is one of the leading causes of disability among people. It also leads to suicide among people. There are two types of stress, eustress and de-stress. Eustress is positive form of stress. It is that optimum level of stress which stimulates our creativity and which makes us productive. On the contrary, de-stress is created by undesirable effects, undesirable stress, and it is the negative form of stress. Burnout. Burnout is excessive form of stress is called as burnout. In this slide, we can see as the stress level goes up, performance goes up to a point, and that is the optimum level of stress wherein performance is highest, and beyond this point as the stress level goes up, performance starts going down. Now let us see the negative consequences of stress. Stress affects us not only physically, psychologically but behaviorally too. Behaviorally, people start taking to drinking, smoking, it leads to more turnover, more absenteeism among people. Psychologically, it leads to emotional problems, people become anxious, leads to insomnia. Physically, as we can see in this slide, it leads to a lot of ailments such as heart attacks, spondylitis, blood pressure, diabetes, neck pain, shoulder pain, peptic ulcers, depression, etc. It impacts all the systems of our body, be it cardiovascular system, nervous system, gastrointestinal system or reproductive system. What are the elements which make up stress in a person? First is stressor, second is individual makeup of the person affected, and third one is reaction of the individual. First of all, stressors. There are two types of stressors, individual stressors and organizational stressors. Individual stressors are the experiences, traumatic experiences which an individual experiences in his or her life. These traumatic experiences significantly impact the well-being of a person. According to Holmes-Rahe social adjustment scale, the most traumatic event in the life of a person is death of a spouse, followed by divorce and jail term. Does this describe you? Are you overloaded or tired or tense all the time? You are being restless yet not knowing why? सीने में जलन, दिल में तूफान सा क्यों है? इस शहर में हर शख्स परेशान सा क्यों? So now let us see organizational stressors. These are organizational sources of stress. Working conditions could not be favorable, or relationship at work may not be good. Frequent changes may be taking place at work, lack of support from seniors and juniors, work-life conflict could be there, role issues such as role ambiguity, role clarity may not be there, and these things create occupational stress. Second element which is responsible for stress in a person is the personality of an individual. There are two types of people, one having type A personality and another having type B personality. So, let us see what are the type A and type B people. Type A personality people, they eat, walk, move rapidly, they feel impatient with the pace of things, they try to schedule more and more in less and less time, they feel guilty while relaxing, they do several things at once, and they do not have time to enjoy life. On the contrary, type B people, they are never in a hurry, they are patient, they can relax without guilt, they have no pressing deadlines, they set reasonable targets and do not feel any pressure. In a essence, they work at a steadier pace. Now, the third element is reaction of the individual. There are two components in it. First is locus of control and second one is tolerance to ambiguity. Locus of control, there are two types of people, people having external locus of control and people having internal locus of control. People having external locus of control are those who think that whatever is happening to them is because of external situations and they do not have any control over these situations. In other words, they cannot control their fate. On the contrary, people having internal locus of control are those people who feel that situations are under control and they can exercise control over the situations and things are under their control. So, people who have external locus of control are more stressed as compared to people having internal locus of control. Now, high tolerance to ambiguity. People who have high tolerance to ambiguity, they are less stressed since they can handle that ambiguity more as compared to people who have low tolerance to ambiguity. People having low tolerance to ambiguity are more stressed. Friends, somebody said, अच्छा लगा तो लगाव हो गया, बुरा लगा तो दुराव हो गया, मैंने हर हालात में देखा, मैं ना रहा बस तनाव हो गया. So, stress is bound to occur. Abraham Lincoln was a sad looking person, but his ability to cope up with stress was enormous. So, now let us see what are the coping strategies for stress. I would recommend reward strategy, that is R means relaxation and meditation, E means exercise well, W watch your breath, A adopt the right attitude, R relationship orientation, and D means diet. Relaxation and meditation. Relaxation and meditation basically quietens our mind and it promotes attitude of equanimity and it gives us more peace and bliss. Meditation converts beta waves into delta waves and it reduces our anxiety and it helps us sleep better. Exercise. According to a study in British Medical Journal, 15 minutes of exercise increases our life expectancy by 3 years. Exercise releases special type of hormones, endorphins in our body, which helps combating the negative level of stress in our body. Therefore, in order to reduce level of stress, we must exercise at least 20 minutes a day and 5 times a week. There are some hidden benefits of exercises as well. It lowers the risk of stroke by 27%, it reduces the incidence of diabetes by 50%, reduces high BP by 40%, breast cancer by 50%, colon cancer by 60%. So, it basically reduces our stress level. Next is watch your breath. Breath is a link between our body and mind, and if our breathing is right, our emotions would be correct, and it can reduce the impact of stress to a great extent. Therefore, breathing can become a tool to enhance our mental well-being and happiness. Stress is not simply external stimulus, but our reaction to it. Our reaction can be positive or negative to it. We may react positively or negatively to any situation. So, choice is ours. What disturbs our mind is not events, but judgment on events. Events cannot be controlled, but our reaction to those events can always be controlled. Therefore, we need to stop the negative thoughts and we need to substitute them with positive thinking. That is the way to reduce the level of stress. Next is relationship orientation. If we have a good social support system around us, then it would help us reducing our stress level, since we can give vent to our pent up feelings with people around us, with our best friends, and friends give us a shoulder to cry on. Therefore, having a good social support system helps reducing our stress. There were very beautiful lines written outside the operation theatre of a hospital. अगर दिल खोल लिया होता यारों के साथ तो ना खोलना पड़ता आज औजारों के साथ. Now the last part, diet. We need to look at our diet closely, and we need to enhance the intake of water, vitamins, vegetables, antioxidants and fruit. On the contrary, we need to reduce the intake of carbohydrates, caffeine, salt, sugar and refined flour. According to naturopathy philosophy, food is the best medicine available on earth, and food is life medicine and medicine is dead food. So friends, in essence, we need to kill stress before it kills us, and today we focused on the stress, the elements which make up stress in a person, alarming statistics about stress, consequences of stress and the coping strategies for stress. Thank you friends, see you in the next video.